Tell you what, I'll take you out. How's that? All right, we're going to do it like we talked. Hello, everybody. Even though there's nobody here yet, I want to talk to you like there are. This is my Wednesday night 8 p.m. show. And later on tonight, Fighting the Finn's going to join me. So we'll have some interesting stuff there. But tonight I want to talk about some other stuff first. Get that kind of stuff off my chest. So I want to try to gather people in here slowly. Hopefully, yes, we've got one in here. I don't see who you are yet. My chat is really lagging. It lags like a minute to a minute and a half behind everything. So whoever you are, thank you for being here. I'll see you pop up here in a minute. My PayPal's somewhere in the chat, I hope, tonight. And if not, that's all I'm going to say about that anyway. But the people who see this on the replay and people who come in, I'd like for you to, if you're not a sub, to subscribe. Hit the like button on your way in or way out. Leave me a comment. I'll always answer you in some way if you leave me a comment. And hit the bell icon, and you'll know when I go live or post a video of some sort. Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. I go live for a Sunday morning Bible study at 11 a.m. Sunday night, I do Bible stories at 8 p.m. And then at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night, like tonight, we try to do news updates and miscellaneous topics. Friday night, we do the same thing. Sometimes I have a guest, sometimes I don't. Here lately, I've had a special person on as a guest quite a few times. Hello, 12B, and hello, Scarecrow. Good to see you, brothers. Good to see you. I'm just easing into this slowly tonight so we can catch people up on what's going on, because tonight is going to have some really good information in it that not everybody knows. There's a lot of people that do. 12B and Scarecrow and Mary. Hey, Mary, how are you doing? But I want to get started heading in the direction of getting this video underway. Fighting the Finn will join me shortly after this. But before I get started tonight, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying martial law is definitely coming to America. I'm not saying that at all. But I can see martial law looming. It's up in front of us if things just go south. I mean, there is always that possibility. You know, I don't want martial law in any form on the streets of our cities and our towns, but we really have no choice but to hope and pray that it doesn't come to that here at home. You know, my hope here tonight is to bring information to those who listen to truth and reason. I'm not here to fearmonger anyone. But if we don't know the real truth about martial law, then we as a society will fail and will fall on our faces if and when our constitutional rights are taken away due to martial law. And that's exactly what will happen if martial law is ever brought to any country, especially America. You will lose your constitutional rights. They will be over. It'll be said and done at that point until martial law is undeclared. So I want to do it and just read a little bit to you about martial law, and first let's just answer some questions and get a little bit of insight. And once I get through this, I'll be done with the martial law thing. And then we're going to get into all kinds of topics in the last 3/4 of this show. So I'm going to hurry through this. But this is what I've been working on, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it to you because it's something that we all need to know. And the first thing I'm going to say is don't panic. Martial law, you know, it is possible in America. But first off, we have to understand what martial law really is and what it means. Martial law is the imposition of direct military control of normal civilian functions by a government, especially in response to a temporary emergency, such as an invasion by hostile forces. Major disasters to include pandemics. So you see here, there's a reason right there through a pandemic to institute martial law if anyone were so inclined to do so. But simply put, martial law is defined as the suspension of ordinary law and the imposition of direct government control by the U.S. military over its citizens and the general population. Martial law gives the government power to act as the police, and the courts all at once. The government under martial law is the judge and the jury and the executioner if you're arrested. There will be no appeals, and sentences usually after a court martial are executed within 24 hours because there are no appeals. You're not going to sit there for 18 to 20 years on appeals appealing a guilty verdict. If you're found guilty in a court martial, you will receive your sentence, and the sentence will be carried out swiftly. I can promise you that. The very idea of martial law should make us think about what it truly means. If you think about martial law as tanks and armored personnel carriers, rolling into your town and into your streets, setting up checkpoints everywhere, well, then you're not far from the truth. Because what happens if martial law is called? Well, in actuality, many things will change in America, beginning with our constitutional rights, as I said. There will be no free speech or freedom of religion or freedom of press, no rights to a speedy trial, and of course, our right to bear arms will disappear. It'll be as if we have no constitutional rights as U.S. citizens, period, because the Constitution at that point will be suspended. As Americans, we will no longer be a free republic under martial law. In essence, we will have our lives turned inside out because we will be dependent on the government for our every need, and we have no promise of a tomorrow. We're going to have to depend on them for food. We're going to have to depend on them for everything, because if martial law is instituted in America, believe me, the streets will be shut down. With the free press, if there was ever such a thing as called the free press, they're silenced as well. The only information will come from the government, probably the Pentagon News Channel or something like that. They're not going to leave us blind. They're going to tell us what they want us to know. And listen, I am not talking down President Trump at all. I'm not even saying he's going to do this, but I'm saying that it looms ahead of us, that option does. And if he chooses to do it, this is what you can expect. The government will already be in place to move with lightning speed to confiscate our firearms, because we're armed civilians and we'll be viewed as the population of being a serious threat. We're going to be thought of as a serious threat because of these guns I have hanging behind me and the one I have laying on my table. But to understand this, if nothing else, all guns will be confiscated from all people. It's to include single shot rifles and shotgun used mainly for hunting purposes only. Of course, a shotgun, I have one right here, are great home defense weapons. So, so they're going to come after every weapon that you have. If martial law is ever instituted, you can expect a knock on the door. I think about the Katrina disaster, when at the height of the devastation, police went door to door and forcibly removed hundreds of thousands of firearms of all types from the possession of the people in the house and from the empty houses. The weapons were never returned to the lawful owners of these weapons. They came in during Katrina, and as they were moving people out to safety, the military was going through their possessions and going through their houses after people had already been evacuated, going in there with their little kayak boats and going through the house. And they found all kinds of weapons in the houses and on the people and in their possessions. As for me, I'll not hide my guns until I have to. It's I'll try to hide it as best I can from confiscation, but my life will probably end, because of my refusal to give up my arms. And I just won't do it if they ever come. I guarantee it, the government agents will be knocking on your door. And if they don't, just knock your door down and enter with guns blazing. You'll be very lucky. Because if they know that you have guns, they're coming prepared. And under martial law, expect the worst and be prepared to maybe die. And that's just the way it is when it comes to people coming to take your gun. But it's not only the guns that they'll come for. They'll come for your supplies of food and water as well to distribute out to the people. And this is just how I see it. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop right there. It's been 11 minutes. I was thinking more along 15. The last thing I'll say about this is that martial law is a very dangerous thing. And as we will be living in a world where no civil liberties exist and everyone is dependent on the government just for the simple survival. As for me, I'm stockpiling food and water and ammo, and I intend to keep a low profile and hope to wait out the storm that I think is ahead of all of us eventually. Should martial law be the new law of the land, I am as prepared as I possibly can be. And with that, I thank God for giving me the sense to know, to be prepared. And now at this time, I'm going to bring in our good buddy and our friend from Florida, Fight and Defend. Good to see you, John. Glad you're here, brother.
What's going on, brother? Hello,
good
Jack.
To see you.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, I didn't mean to keep you in limbo there so long, but I wanted to get most of that out, even though I did cut it short. But
yeah, we got tons to talk about. There's a lot going on, and it's even crazier.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
What's happening? So, several things. I don't even know where to start. It's just crazy. What Trump announced today, he's talking about possibly doing a complete shutdown, no air flight, no travel. There's a reason behind everything that's happening, folks. I've been saying this all along. I said it on a chat there a few weeks back. I had told you guys, I said, do not be surprised if we don't go down under martial law, but do not get freaked out. Yeah. Think about this, folks. All right. Our schools are closing. Our major events are closing. All sports activities are closing. Everything is closing down. We have 20 to 30,000 people that die every year of influenza and the flu. How many people have died from the coronavirus here in the U.S.?
40.
We're going under a national emergency for 40 people.
True.
When we have 20 to 30,000 that die daily. Ask yourself, why is that? Why is that? Think about this. They are eliminating the targets for the deep state. If the schools aren't in, there's no school shootings. If there's no major events going on, there's no bombings, there's no anything. They're taking their ammo away from them. The indictments are coming down. Bill Gates stepped down 8 minutes after Trump did his little speech this afternoon. Ask yourself why. I've been saying, Tom Hanks. Where's Tom Hanks right now?
Australia.
Conveniently, he's in Australia with his wife under quarantine. What a coinky-dink. My personal feeling, they are calling down martial law, but do not freak out. It's not for us. The indictments are about to get served. They have 145,522 indictments that got to be served. Okay, if you watch if you go back and look at the old Q drops, by April 11th, this will be done and the coronavirus will disappear.
Well, Trump has been saying all along that, there's nothing to it more than the sniffles and the cold. And a lot of people have it, don't even know they have it, and it'll go away.
Absolutely. And he knows why.
Well, they were talking today about what they're trying to do to combat this, and this is how it was explained to me. If you did, anybody didn't see it live, I can't remember the doctor's name, but it was one of the experts. He spoke several times, a little short guy, and he was talking about the peak. Let me get my hands going right here. Talking about the peak.
Yep.
When it goes up to an outrageous number, he says what they're trying to do is they know they can't make it level. They're just trying to round it off, to keep it as low as possible and make it a hill instead of a mountain.
Yeah.
And so Trump is still saying it's nothing, but yet he has the vice president standing there giving a speech beside of him, telling us everything they've done. And they have been really beating the bushes and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
For this coronavirus that supposedly is nothing compared to the president.
Bobby, your camera's shaking like crazy.
It's probably my legs. I'm sitting here running my feet because I've been drinking coffee all day.
All over the place, buddy.
All right, thank you. Is this better?
Listen, Bobby, think about this. Trump is a germaphobe, a complete germaphobe. He said today maybe he'll go and check and see if he's got the coronavirus after being involved with people who have since been confirmed to have the coronavirus.
Well, he said in the speech today he has had no symptoms.
Exactly.
And until he has symptoms, he's not going to worry about it.
Listen, this is why he's not concerned. The coronavirus, it's here, yes, but it's cover. I'm telling you right now, it's the red flag that we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
All right. There's a reason for this. Watch what's going on. All right. They have the military in New Rochelle, New York.
True. We talked about that the other day.
Because they said they have 108 confirmed cases. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a 1 mile blocked off.
Yeah. We talked about that earlier the other day.
What's in New Rochelle, New York?
I know the answer. Do you want me to answer?
Absolutely.
A lot of mobsters.
Absolutely.
It's the suburbs, but it's the suburbs of the rich.
Absolutely. Now, let me on that note. Hang on. Hang on.
There, you're back.
I got so many windows open. Bear with me, people.
Okay. Hey, DM, while you're doing that. Hey, Grateful Grandma Patty, always good to see you. The White Rabbit, glad to see you. Jeff B, always nice to see you, my brother. And DM, the best mod ever was, also a dear friend and sister. Always good to have her on the show. It's sometimes we have a low count on Wednesday night. Sometimes we have a good count. It just depends. I don't know what's going on with the viewers here lately, but I've seemed to have a lot less than what I usually normal have. But I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm going to continue to do what I do, John. And all we can do is put it out there, brother. We can put it out there, and if they don't want to hear it, that's up to them. Well, let me tell this one quick little funny story, and I'll be done with it. I'm going to let you have it. We have a Sam's here, about 6 miles down the road. Well, my mom just happened to be there, and it even made the news, but my mom happened to be there, and she saw part of it. And what it was 2 old men in the motorized carts. One bumped into another one, and I think the other one that got bumped had a child in his lap, and he got all mad and picked up a wine bottle. The other guy picked up a wine bottle, and they both went to the hospital with needing stitches in an ambulance. So I just thought that was funny that things are getting so crazy right now. People are getting so hyped up over this coronavirus. Everybody's nerves are on edge, and it doesn't take nothing, just a spark.
Yeah,
is all it takes for a lot of these people to go off on each other. And it's going to get worse.
Yes, it is.
It's going to get worse. People are going to start getting short-tempered and popping off, and somebody's going to shut their mouth for them. or vice versa. But I'm going to turn it over to you, John, and let you talk. I know you want to talk about Bill Gates and that Gavi deal that we talked about earlier, the Global Alliance of Vaccinations and Immunizations.
Yeah.
So we can start there if you want to give us an idea of what this GAVI corporation is.
Well, as we know now, Bill Gates stepped down today from Microsoft because he said he wants to spend more time studying philanthropy. But ironically, he has a investment in a Gavi. It's what Bobby had just said, where they are going to vaccinate every child in the world.
100%. Is that correct?
100%, and by force if necessary.
Yeah, that's what I also read.
Now, keep in mind, people, with saying that, keep in mind that Bill Gates is one of the ones that's going to be on the other side of the bars. So a lot of this stuff that's happening, like right here, CEOs, January of 2020 set a record for the most CEO departures in the United States in 1 month. 219 CEOs stepped down from their jobs. Why?
Sure.
People ask. Think about this, people. When Trump came into office, he passed that bill. If you get caught up in the sex trafficking ring, the government has the right to seize everything you own, including your businesses. So if you're not running the business anymore, the government can't seize it. Think about this. Think about the government seizing Disney because the CEO of Disney stepped down. Think about the government owning Microsoft. Bill Gates has stepped down. Think about that.
Well, he in that legislation you're talking about was actually an executive order. And I believe it was written in December of 17, right before the new year. And it said that anybody that was caught up in corruption or human trafficking of any kind could face the death penalty.
Yes.
And all assets would be secured.
And keep in mind, the Democrats just got hanging under treason removed from the books.
Yeah, I was sort of hoping they'd leave that on there, but
why would they do that?
Because they don't want to hang.
Exactly.
They'd rather try to lie their way out of it before they're executed. I don't know if it's going to be a firing squad or what it's going to be, because once it goes before a military tribunal, all the laws that they've made and all the bills that they've proposed won't mean a thing.
Right. Exactly.
It won't matter if they're Republican or Democrat. It won't matter if it's a man or a woman. If you're charged and you're found guilty, you will be sentenced, and the execution of that sentence will take place right away. If it's life in prison, then you go away right then and you don't come out. Luckily, you'll be in a federal prison, so you're not in a really bad prison. Maybe they need to put you in a bad prison, but for security purposes, because you're high-profile people, you will require special housing.
Technical Tech. I went.
Hey man, how you doing, Major?
I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket. The world's not coming to an end, and once this is over, they'll be going back to work.
Yeah.
So, seriously, people.
Hey, White Rabbit. I believe you too, brother. I keep my guns right here, and my Bible's right there within almost arm's reach. Join me sometime on Sunday mornings or Sunday nights for my Bible study and stories. But I'm sorry I interrupted. I've just had to speak to that guy. I hadn't talked to him. Sandy Hopkins.
Seriously, people, don't freak out. Okay, if you go back and you look at all the Q drops, you put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Bobby knows, I have been putting literally hundreds of hours of investigation time into everything that's going on. I am not the least bit concerned. The world's not coming to an end. The coronavirus is going to go as quick as it came. Trump has even said that too. He said, Trump says a corona will go away and stay calm. Very good things are happening. Gone by April.
Okay, Major Mayhem, aka Tactical Technician. He said, "Oh, it's not ending. Oh well, crap. I'm still going to partying like an American." Well, of course, always party like an American. Donnie Newman. I'm a woman. I have a one-shot black powder antique gun. I love my gun till death do us part. Well, that's really good. Just keep your powder dry. Maybe you ought to think about picking up a handgun, maybe a 9mm or 380 or something that you feel comfortable with. That's small enough to handle. Or even get you a shotgun that holds 5 shells, and like I have. You can get a sawed-off shotgun like I've got. And it's very good home defense. A single shot's not going to give you a lot of time when it's black powder to reload and have to shoot again. So I don't recommend black powder weapons as a defense weapon. And most black powder muskets are 50 to 58 caliber, so it's going to have a lot of kick to it, and you got to keep the powder dry. You got to keep your primers dry, and if it sits in the closet and you live in a humid part of the country, you go to shoot it, it might just be a dud. Yeah. Stuff's supposed to be loaded, then fired, not loaded and stuck up somewhere.
Listen, people, I'm telling you, grab your popcorn, grab your favorite drink, and watch this, pardon my French, DM, watch this shit show go down, because it's coming. Q drops. Trump has said, clean sweep, no war, no uprising.
Yeah. We've all been talking about revolution or civil war and all this kind of stuff. So, okay, give me your synopsis. How's this all going to go down, John?
Listen, tonight we have the National Guard here in Florida. They've already sent the National Guard to 6 locations, Florida being one of them. Okay. I just got that, Robbie, before we went on. I forgot to mention that to you.
Okay.
You're going to see lockdown in the Guard in California, New York, Washington, D.C. The Guard is going to get called out supposedly to 12 cities. Ironically, these cities are the blue ones.
Really?
These cities are those cities that hold your elites and hold your politicians. Think about this. One state that is talked about going on lockdown, I just found out today from an official, is Colorado.
Yeah, I heard the whole state's under lockdown.
Well, it's going to be tight. I think there is going to be a complete travel ban coming very soon.
Yeah.
The reason for that is so the elites can't get on their Learjets and get out of Dodge.
When Trump was pressed on that today by reporters, he didn't say very much. He alluded to, yes, that he stopped people coming in and out from Europe, unless they are a U.S. citizen, but they have to go directly to quarantine for 14 days once they get off the plane. So he addressed that, but he left it like an open-end answer. Like there's more that he's just not going to tell us. And I think that has a lot to say about what's going on with him. Is he knows what's going on, but he knows it isn't time to tell us yet because it's part of his plan. They know it's coming. He knows it's going, but they don't know exactly when it's coming.
Yes. Now, Italy today.
Yes.
Italy's on lockdown.
Full lockdown.
Full lockdown. Okay. Yep. Guys in the zoot suits and the masks show up at this house to do a well-being check on an individual.
Okay. Welfare check. Gotcha.
Who's the individual? He was the head of the mob in Italy. Who were the guys in those zoot suits? The cops. They've been looking for this guy since August of last year. They got him. They are picking up people during this lockdown.
Really?
Think about that. Yes. Think about that. They're taking them down. Friday the 13th. Look at your Q drops. Friday the 13th.
If you know anything about Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th is considered unlucky because of the Knights Templar.
Yep.
You know, the Knights Templar were the warrior monks that protected travelers going to the Holy Land. And then, of course, they took refuge there in the Holy Land on the Mount. And supposedly they found a lot of articles, you know, maybe the Grail or, you know, the Ark of the Covenant, or anyway, they supposedly found great treasures that, and they became very rich. And then all of a sudden, after about, you know, 50 years, 100 years of them doing that, the King of France just declared them, along with the Pope at that time, to be heathens worshiping Satan. And you know, the ones that got away, you know, became the Illuminati and people like that, you know, down into Italy and parts of Europe. But
this is why it's worldwide.
So people have to understand that, you know, it started out worldwide and it just continued.
Yes, but there's a reason why it's worldwide, the virus. Miss Mary.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Miss Mary, they have it. All right. Miss Mary said the wealthy have yachts. They better activate the Coast Guard. It's covered. Benny, yes, Texas has called down martial law.
Texas?
Yes.
Okay, I hadn't heard that.
Abbott, yeah. There's so much coming down. Seriously, people, all right? Yes, the coronavirus is here. It's going to go away. That's not our concern. Watch what's happening. These people are getting picked up, okay? They arrested the guy in Italy. The other night, the DEA just arrested the entire Mexican drug cartel that was here in the United States soil.
600 of them, was it?
600 total. They got 250 the other night. In the last 6 months, they've got 600. They had 17,000 kilos of dope on them and $20 million. Now, also remember that Trump just said weeks ago, the reason why South Korea, North Korea, and China don't have a big drug problem is because they kill their traffickers.
True. Yeah.
Watch that and remember this.
Yeah.
Watch and see what happens. Trump has warned Mexico more than one time to knock it off, and they haven't. We'll see what happens with this.
Well, to my understanding, the drug cartels have more power than the police
down there,
and probably the military. I mean, I think there's a lot of people in Mexico who are bought off.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, until you get rid of those enablers, you're never going to be able to take them down, because you know people are going to, you know, they're going to know what you're going to do before you ever do it. You know, they'll have the upper hand.
Yeah, but you know what? That's down there. Good for them. Leave them there. They're going to know, though. They come up here, they're dead. Yeah,
they need to stay south. That's for sure. But the southern border, as far as I know, Trump closed the southern border.
That doesn't. Yeah, he did. That doesn't mean anything to them.
No, but I'm just saying, though, at least it is supposedly closed.
Hey, what better wall than a psychological wall over a physical wall? Knowing if you come up here bringing drugs in the country, you're probably never going home.
Yeah, but they got to stand by that, and hopefully they will. They've done a great job lately compared to years prior. I mean, there's been record deportations, and this, you know, go back and wait in Mexico deal's pretty good. You know, they catch them here, they send them back to Mexico, and they wait there.
Yep. Dave's Backyard Chickens. Yes.
Hey, Pete, how you doing, brother?
The Democrats wouldn't let it happen. You got to remember that when El Chapo Guzman was convicted here in the United States,
right?
And trust me, I picked up some of his dope over the years. He stood up in court and said that he had paid Hillary and Nancy Pelosi millions of dollars to keep the flow going into the United States. That
Sure.
is why Nancy fights so hard for the wall, because she owes them.
Sure. Sure. Oh, I had to say something to somebody right quick. If I can get back up there to it. Oh, it's yeah, Pete the Patriot, man. Good to see you. I wanted to tell you, I was on your show today, and I made several comments, but you were dead on, and you was on a roll, so you wasn't paying much attention. But I want you to know that I check you out too, brother. I don't always leave a comment, but normally I'll at least say hey. But anyway, glad you're here. As long as and as well as everybody else, like Done Playing Around, Lynn M, Jeff B, Mary Wills, all great people. And those are just the ones that I can see on my screen right at the moment. I'll try to remember. And of course, DM the mod, and there's Propus and Donnie Newman and Sandy Hopkins. Yeah, it's great people. Dave's Backyard Chickens and Outdoors. People I haven't seen before, and some that I've only seen a time or two. So great to see you. Glad you're here. Let's continue on. We never did get past the Global Alliance of Vaccines and Immigration. I don't know if I got off on another tangent, but we never really, got into that very deep. If you have anything else to add on that.
Right. Well, and the reason why is because what's happening right now is coming very, very fast, people. We're going to be locked down very soon. Very, very soon. Yeah. Bill Gates is pushing for world vaccination, but honestly, Bob, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's going down. I in my heart, I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff that's happening is going to change dramatically very shortly. They have not put this much time and this much people, okay, into this. They haven't called back JAG officers for no reason.
Yeah, let me extrapolate on that just a little bit. There was a few months ago, Trump brought back 1,000 JAG, which is the military justice lawyers and judges. He brought 1,000 lawyers and judges from JAG out of retirement, and they all went to Gitmo. So those 1,000 judges are all at Gitmo right now, and from there, I believe they went through a breakdown of what was going on, and now they wait at different locations across the country.
Yeah,
for the military tribunals to start.
Yep.
And it has to be done by military tribunals, John, because if they try to do it through the legal justice system,
right,
they'll have every kind of appeal, and it'll drag each case out for 25 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And people get to walk. In a military tribunal, you go in there, you better be trying to prove your innocence, because they're dang sure going to be trying to prove you guilty.
And you're going to serve the time they give you.
Every day.
Not this BS early release for good behavior crap.
And it doesn't mean you'll be in a federal prison either.
No.
It could be Gitmo, because it's not a federal crime. It's a military crime.
Right. Jeff Daniels, you're correct. If you people notice, when the schools first started talking about being closed, they said a week, 2 weeks. Now those schools that initially said that are talking 30 days. Everybody's talking 30 days, 30 days.
Okay. We've got here in Georgia, just in the last couple of days, we've exploded with cases, and compared to what we had. But now we have school closings everywhere. They're closing down any kind of events, movie theaters, all that kind of stuff. They're being closed down. But the scary part is that they're doing it in Fulton County, which is about 20 miles from here. But Fulton County encompasses most of Atlanta.
Yep.
So, and we've talked about this, about Atlanta being a transportation hub for people as well as supplies and goods.
Yep.
So now if that goes under lockdown, you're talking about major cities going under lockdown.
Yes.
With the guard on hand. So yeah, what's going to happen when they start shutting down these massive transportation hubs?
It's coming.
Does the military have the equipment and the drivers to take over and deliver the food that they're supposed to bring to us, and in that guise of human, service and all that kind of stuff? Even though they have fully loaded automatic weapons.
Yeah, Grateful Grammy.
Yeah.
My grandkids in Riverside, California are out until mid-April. There you go. Again.
Yep. There we go. We said April the 11th, didn't we?
Yes.
And that's our number. That's not something that they've given us, online. So.
Yeah. Kind of convenient that the movie theaters have to be closed down when the movie The Hunt was being released today.
Yeah, we need to touch on that just a little bit. It's they tried to release it before, and there were too many protests. And from what I understand, it's protesting from both sides of the political aisle.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, I've been saying this for over a year, that these kind of hunts do take place.
Yes,
and I've always been a believer. If you've seen it on a sci-fi program or a sci-fi movie or any kind of movie about something you think there's no possible way this could ever be true, so it's got to be just a fantasy film, right? Yeah. Well, if you really start looking, everything we've seen, we're doing. Yes. We're not into, we can't transport people yet that we know of.
But we know
they're trying.
Yeah.
And so, they're trying they either are trying or already have everything you've ever seen on a sci-fi film.
Yeah.
They got the laser guns, they've got the sunglasses that see through walls. They've got all that stuff.
Yes, they do.
And we're stupid to think that they don't.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to have to worry about them too much.
No. Hang on. Luciano wrote, do you think this will spark homeschooling? It's possible. But I'll tell you what, people, for parents and grandparents, I've said it the other night, this is a time to spend with your kids and get them out of that mindset.
That's right.
Let them.
Did you hear that lurking around? Listen to what the man just said.
Yeah. This is time. I truly believe this is our last opportunity to save this country. Everything is happening for a reason right now. This is our last opportunity. And people may say I'm sick. This coronavirus to me is a good thing. This is a slap in the face to everybody to wake the hell up and realize what's going around their surroundings. I have been saying this for years to people. I have been following this for years. I seen it when I was in law enforcement. People need to wake up. This is going to be a wake-up call for everybody.
Yeah.
It really is. Get back to the family values. Get back to your kids. Get them out of this mindset that these idiots are putting them in. Donnie wrote, Bill Gates stepped down from Microsoft today. What timing? Exactly, Donnie. There's a reason why he stepped down.
I believe it was, 8 minutes or 18 minutes after Trump?
8 minutes.
8 minutes after Trump ended his speech, he stepped down.
The rabbits are running back down the hall.
There was a lot of CEOs, not CEOs, but the high-ranking members of Target and Walmart and Ross and several others there with the president. And it just seems odd that Microsoft wouldn't have been there as one of the innovators. I mean, he's doing all of this for vaccines and all this other kind of stuff. But I think you're going to start seeing a lot of people stepping down from high positions right away. Bill Gates, I think, was just one of the beginning.
Well, a lot of them have been. We're not hearing about it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to actually dig into that corporation to see who's been moved around and all that. Yeah, they're not going to tell us.
No.
So that's the whole thing. Everything that you and I bring to the people is stuff that we've had to stick our nose into and to try to dig it out of people and out of places that where they don't want us to even be sometimes.
Yeah.
Miss
Mary, Victoria's Secret. I'm sorry, Bobby. Miss Mary, Victoria's Secret too. Yes. The CEO of Victoria's Secret stepped down. He is well known in the pedophile circle.
Yes.
He is well known. Listen, all these people that are stepping down, there's a reason they're running. All these names are going to come back. Watch and see. You can take the list of all the CEOs that have stepped down and watch their names don't pop up again shortly.
Oh, yeah, sure. But it'll be in totally different news.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be people, but you know, that's something else that we haven't really talked about. In order for this to happen, we're probably going to lose YouTube, and the whole internet for that matter, and probably I don't know if we'll lose our phones or not, but I know we'll lose all social media. We're probably going to lose, the mainstream media, and there's going to be a blackout, for lack of a better term, and that blackout will probably last about 4 days.
Listen, remember 10 days of darkness. 10 days of darkness. Keep that in your mind. 10 days of darkness. I really think our cell phone service and laptops, our internet will be shut down for a while. They have to do this. They have to cut all communications for these dirtbags.
True.
It's because I've lived this. I've been there during these raids. I've done this stuff. Okay. You have to take out everything about them. Transportation, communications, everything.
Yeah.
Hit their banks, everything. Lock down their vehicles. Unfortunately, it's going to affect all of us for a little while. But people, don't freak, because I know in the beginning, and even I said it in the beginning, if we lose the internet and our phones, arm up and get ready for war. We're probably going to lose it, but do not arm up yet, because it's not our war yet. Let them do their thing. Seriously. The New World Order is crumbling right in front of our eyes. They are going to try to do anything they can to distract us once again. And this is the reason for our schools being closed, our major events being shut down. They're taking their ammo away.
Yeah, they have nothing to fire at. They have nothing to abuse. They have no schools to attack. They have they've taken away their whole attack.
Yes.
By closing the schools, there's no kids there. Well, they don't want to just go burn the school. That doesn't solve the problem or get the point across.
Right.
So that's a great idea, to shut everything down for 30 days. And that's what they've done, is 30 days, not 24. They're saying 30 days now. I mean, everybody look. And Trump said today, hey, you're not going to lose your paycheck. It's going to be taken care of.
Yes.
He didn't say who was going to pay it, but he said that you'd still receive your money for your weekly salary, even though you're at home because of the coronavirus.
Yes. Now, on that note, Trump had talked about zero taxes on your paycheck.
Yes, he said that up for the whole year.
Not right. Initially, it was just for a few weeks. Now it's for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about that. There's a couple other things that he's doing right now.
Uh-huh.
What's happening that people aren't realizing is he's restructuring the IRS. He's shutting the money down. He's shutting the money down to the cabal.
Yeah.
They're going to restructure the IRS. Watch and see.
Sure. He'll probably go to a flat 10% tax or a 999 type tax or something like that. That's the perfect thing. So why out of nowhere? See, and he's using the coronavirus. I ain't supposed to be saying that word, by the way.
Yeah, don't.
But anyway, that virus,
the beer flu.
Yeah, I got to be careful about that.
The beer flu.
Yeah, there you go. And I sort of lost my train of thought, but
sorry.
But yeah, Trump is, he's at a point now to where he's he's doing the best thing that he possibly can do for us, I believe. I don't want to try to second guess him, but in this last 10 minutes we've got here, I don't want people to think that I'm talking him down over his policies over the coronavirus. I think he's done a great job. I think he's leaving a lot of these shutdown zones being left up to the individual states, which is good. So even if martial law is instituted in these states, it's probably going to be the local state guard that's first called out, and then the National Guard would be called out at a later time, right behind them as the enforcing force behind it all. So
the National Guard will be for local levels, like you said.
Yeah,
it's going to be the Navy and the Marines that are handling the rest.
And by the rest, we're talking about if not mass arrest, certainly continued arrest throughout a 24-hour day. I mean, it's going to be a lot of people arrested in a short period of time. I'm giving it 4 days, maybe more, maybe less.
It's going to take a little bit. Yes, you got to.
Because you have, when you said the Navy, now you have Navy intelligence. You have NCIS. Everybody's watched that TV show, NCIS. I mean, come on. The Navy's got some of the smartest people in the world. So yeah, you got NCIS and the Navy intelligence involved. You've also got the Marines, which are another. Not only are they smart, they've got the brawn.
Yeah,
and so with those two forces combined, which have always been combined, the Navy and the Marines, they've always been fought together and traveled together and everything else. So they are tightly knit. So yes, they would be the first front line when it came to arresting people and taking people down for their crimes. Yeah, it'd have to be them, the Marines and the Navy.
Grandma Moses, you're on to it.
What did she write?
Mac the Knife, count on it.
Hey, Mac the Knife, Biden is in that list, brother. He is not going to go free. There's not going to be an election in November, my friends. I really don't believe there will be an election because they're not going to have anybody running.
Listen,
we're probably going to lose 70% of our Congress.
There you go. That is the number they're giving us, is 70%.
70% of our government.
Yep.
Also, that encompasses all the 3-letter agencies. The NSA, CIA, FBI,
the alphabet group.
Yeah, all the 3-letter agencies and alphabet groups.
Remember, people. Remember who got those notes at the Bush funeral.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Don't forget who got them. Everybody but Jimmy Carter and his wife.
Yeah, and he looked very upset that he didn't get one.
He felt left out.
Yeah, well, he's probably pretty lucky. And Jimmy Carter's from Georgia. He was a terrible president, terrible governor. He's a terrible person, but at least he thinks he does right. So he believes in himself, and so that's more than the rest of them can do. But you had Hillary, or the fake Hillary, her double, and Bill got an envelope. The Bidens got an envelope. The Vice President Cheney got an envelope. George Bush got an envelope. And Mike Pence got an envelope. Now, is that all of them? Oh, and Al Gore also got an envelope.
Pete the Patriot, Pence, yes. My answer to you, Pete, is keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
That makes me wonder. I've wondered about Pence since day one. Day one.
Yeah. Watch. Pence isn't who you think he is, folks.
No.
He's not who you think he is.
No, Pence is not. And like you said, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So, yeah, I understand that. I want to talk a little bit too. Remember, Chew used to always say, trust Sessions. Trust Sessions. So I don't think Sessions is either he's not done or what he did concentrate on while he was there. He went there for one specific job that he could do, that he had to do, and he accomplished that job. And when his time was up, they kicked him out. And that was all part of the plan to make him look like, well, Trump turned against him. So all of the stuff that Sessions has found up until that time won't even be looked at until it's too late. So I think that is going to be one of the key elements in anything that goes down when it comes to the cabal or the elite, in our government and Hollywood and places like that. But I think it's coming. I really do. And like you said, why give everybody the rest of the year off from income tax?
There's a reason.
Yeah, because he wants to shut down the IRS.
There is a reason. And I'll say it, and Pete, you talked about it on your show.
You're right, Pete. He did his job, brother.
A reset. They call it a debt jubilee, but a reset is coming. They have talked about it for a while about doing a flat tax where you pay out of your check every week, but there's no more filing at the end of the year. There's no ways for these elites to hide their money. There's a reason for it.
That's right.
And I truly believe that once they're done with this and they're done with the IRS, the next thing that's coming is they're going to audit the Fed. And that's when people are going to get really pissed off because they're going to realize how bamboozled they've been all their lives.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see, who was that right quick? I wanted to say something to him. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it went by so fast. I can't find it now. Oh yeah, Luciano said that Sessions was set up for what's to come, and he did his job. And I want to make that clear. I was not bad mouthing Sessions one bit. He did his job. He was hired to do a job. He did it, and he got out. And that's the end of that story. Until it comes time for him to probably be a key witness or to bring forth maybe even the charges himself.
Just lurking. All right. You got to remember that Papa Bush, there's a reason why they call him Papa Bush. He was involved with the whole pedophile ring, and he was also involved with the whole opiate situation in the United States borders.
Poppy Bush was known to send the military to guard the poppy fields in Afghanistan. Yeah, he was known. He was really big into heroin production and trafficking, as well as trafficking children. Yeah.
Yes.
Poppy Bush sure was.
Yep.
He was also instrumental in the assassination of JFK. Believe it or not, he was in the FBI. He was there in Dallas that day. He was there the day before in Houston with the president. And it's just too many things are too odd. And then suddenly after that, he became the head of the CIA. Not just an agent, but the head of the CIA, then vice president for 8 years, and then president for 8 years. What's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
It was all part of a plan, just like it was for Bush Jr., Clinton, and Obama. But Trump, just like Reagan, threw a wrench in the works, and now they're struggling to catch up. Yeah. We've got the upper hand right now.
Yeah. Invader Jim.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the CB19 fear-mongering isn't a way for the powers that be to pass more restrictive laws to keep the people safe, to speed up the totalitarian takeover, the New World Order.
You're right. You're right. It's a good possibility.
To a point. I agree with that, except for the last part. The New World Order is crumbling before us. That is what's going down worldwide. All these elites are going down.
Okay. Now, interrupt you there. Check out Just Lurking. See what he just said. He said, did you ever notice nothing said on who was shipped in those 2 shipments of fentanyl that was worth millions, billions? That wasn't no drug lord. That was an elite that actually got caught. So that's good. Catch those elite.
And
then let's catch the pedophiles and the pedivores and the elite.
Hang on. Shoot.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock, man. We went over almost.
Too bad. Too bad. You know what? Life is serious. I don't give a damn anymore. Just Lurking. It was a bank, and I'll look it up. I have the information on that. It was a bank. J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan was involved in that.
Oh, sure. Morgans go all the way back. They're part of the cabal.
Yes. Schools closed to avoid false flags. Exactly, Pete. You know, I know you said it's 9 o'clock, Bobby, but you know what?
We can keep going. I mean, as long as people are here, we'll keep going. I don't know of anybody that's going on right now.
It doesn't matter. Unless they're talking about this stuff, I don't give a damn. I'm not listening to anybody else right now. This is what's happening. Wake up. People.
That's right.
Wake up. So
we didn't dream this stuff up out of our own heads, you know. We researched this stuff.
What's that?
I said, we researched this stuff. It's not like we just made it all up.
Listen, I have spent, Bobby knows, I am up from 8 o'clock in the morning till 3, 4 o'clock the next morning, day after day after day. The stuff is coming in so crazy. Yeah. I am fortunate to have good contacts from my past careers that are letting me know what's going on. It's nuts. It's here. It's happening. Everything, you know, Jeff B., all schools closed in Florida for 2 weeks. Everything is going to get shut down shortly. And there's a reason for it. It's for our own protection. So everybody's off the streets. They can do what they have to do, pick up who they have to pick up. And I'm telling you, when this is said and done, people are going to get their minds blown when they start naming names. The word is that Trump will Twitter. Exactly. Tweet. I don't do that crap.
I don't either.
Trump will announce on Twitter that it's going down as he is boarding Air Force One. They're taking him out of the country.
Yeah. And then he'll be gone until it's over.
Yeah.
Be gone until it's over. But let's hang on to the a lot of this. And it's not that I don't want to continue on. I do, but at the same time,
I think we got GKR Scratch Family hooked.
Cool.
We need more, Bobby. Keep going.
Yeah, we don't have to do an hour. Nothing locks us into that. It's just when I start seeing the count going down after an hour. That even though I don't know, that tells me that Pete or Joe or somebody is probably going live. And well,
it's up to you with your show.
Well, I mean, if you've got more, go right ahead. We'll continue for a few minutes.
I mean, if people want to go over Joe's show, have at it.
Yeah, Joe's on 12B, Georgia said. So let's do the right thing and let's just go ahead and get out of here. So everybody can go to Joe's, and hopefully next time he'll send them to us and return the acknowledgement that he's coming on. And even though we're a small channel, we only have a few people in here. I'm grateful to each and every one of them for coming.
Yeah. Donnie, you're correct. Trump was asked to run for president. They needed his help. You are correct.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, I'm glad you're still here, man. And you too, Major Mayhem and Donnie and Lynn and 12B Georgia, Grandma Moses, Just Lurking. But I promise you, we'll do this again, and we'll actually. I try to work myself into an hour show. That's just what I'm used to doing. So if you want Fight and Defend and I to come back on and to do maybe a 2-hour show, we can probably do that on a Saturday evening. If you wanted us to do that, or we could maybe even Friday night, whenever y'all want to, but we'll plan, because to be honest with you, if we stayed on any longer, I'd just be sitting here listening to John, because I'm out of pretty much all my information unless I want to get into some really stupid topics.
I'm chuckling at Miss Mary. Who's Joe? I forgot.
American Joe.
Yeah, no, she's being sarcastic.
Oh,
Donnie Newman. No, it wasn't the WHO that asked Trump.
Go ahead.
I mean, the who's involved with the UN and all that. It's crumbling. The deck of cards are falling. It's crumbling.
Yeah, it is. It's going to fall.
You know, one thing real quick too. I was just talking with a friend earlier, talking about Hillary taking that position.
Yeah,
as administrator
in Ireland.
Yeah. Well, ironically, the guy that got her that position, his name is listed under Bill Clinton's name on the Lolita Express on one of the rides over.
Oh, imagine that. That is awesome. I'm glad they're keeping it all together in a nice little knit group. That way, when we come to get them, we can get them all. That's the way I'm going to look at it.
Yeah. It's coming down, guys. It's coming down. Don't panic, please. Seriously. The media is hyping the hell out of this they're doing it intentionally. Fear porn, basically, is what I call it. They're doing it for a reason, to get everybody scared. And look what's happening, and people are falling for it. They're beating the hell out of each other for a roll of toilet paper. I'll tell you what, if you're that desperate for toilet paper, I got a pile of it. You bring me your guns, I'll give you my toilet paper.
There you go. Done playing around. Yeah, I agree with you, brother. The military are our white hats. And and they propped up Trump in the beginning, and now they're still propping him up. But they're propping him up with their weapons. They're not propping him up with their hands or their shoulders. They're not physically propping him up. They're backing him up. They are there to do his bidding as long as he doesn't tell them to do something that's against the law. But John, I enjoy it every time we get together. I about forgot what it's like to go solo on one of these things. You make it an easy hour. You're always got a great content, and man, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate your friendship and your loyalty. We're going to keep doing this. So,
I do it because it has to be done.
Well, let's just plan now. We'll plan on doing longer Friday. If you want to come back Friday night, we'll continue this. Yeah, and we'll go, because by Friday we're going to have 2 days of brand new information.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the people want us to come back and continue with this, actually by Friday, who knows? By Friday, we may be under lockdown.
We may know something. We may not even be on here Friday.
It's going to hit us fast, people.
So if we're not on here Friday,
right,
or if you don't hear from me, over the weekend, then you can pretty much, I'll pretty much figure that you're in the same boat I am, and you don't have an internet either.
Yep.
So we're all going to be in the same boat. Remember, we're all going to be in the same boat. Yeah. Remember, you need to, just in case this were to happen, it's like a fire drill plan. If you have kids in your house, or even if you don't, you should have a plan of escape in case of fire. You know what I mean? You should have a plan to escape in case of a fire. Well, you should also have the same kind of mentality when it comes, to your safety.
Yeah.
In other ways. So, you got to be vigilant.
Yeah.
Vigilant. That's the word. Vigilant. You got to be vigilant, and you got to keep your powder dry. You got to keep your mind sharp. You got to keep your stores rotated. You got to be prepared, because it's going to come. And if not for you having a cool, calm head, there would be total chaos, because there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be your snowflakes. Your snowflakes are going to lose their freaking minds.
Exactly.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. I don't care. You know what? Let them lose their minds. Let them get taken down. We won't have to deal with them again.
That's right. That's right. But speaking of toilet paper, I've got probably 50 rolls, so I think I'm okay for a month.
Yeah. They're going to be worth their weight in gold, especially if people stocked up on beans. But anyway.
Oh, and I get that soft Charmin too. That's really expensive.
Oh, you got the nice stuff. Yeah, we are in this boat together, people. Please, I'm begging you. Please don't freak out. Don't freak out. grab your popcorn, kick back, and watch this unravel. It's going to be crazy. I'm telling you right now. And yes, Jeff B had said it's Friday. Yes, it's Friday the 13th. And you go back in the old Q drops, and what did Trump say? It starts Friday the 13th.
That's right. And done playing around. I agree with Tactical Tech, man. I'd call you a brother too. If you can sit through an hour with me and John fight and defend, then you are a brother, because it's. I know sometimes we talk about stuff that people don't understand, but then again, we get a crowd like tonight that are right on point with us. I haven't seen any dissenting remarks. Everybody seems to be, right on time with us in our thinking, John. So, that's always a big point. That's always a big plus. Tonight was a success. We've had a really good show, but let's stop at this point and let's start planning our return for Friday at 8 p.m. Tell you what, I'll do some checking. And if I decide to go a little earlier on Friday, I'll post it in a video announcement. So we may change the time between now and Friday, and we'll see, because we're not going to be shortened by a time limit Friday night. And I want to make sure that, I'm being as respectful to other YouTubers as I possibly can, but I've got a lot to get out. And so I've got to do a long show. So look for us Friday night at 8 p.m. for sure. We're going to get out of here. John, do you have any last words that you'd like to say?
Just, I'm telling you, people, when this is done, things will be good on the other side. All right. I've lived this.
Thank you, Just Lurking.
I've lived this. I understand this. That's how I get into this so deep. A lot of people don't like going this far down a rabbit hole because it gets dark and scary down there. But it has to be done, plain and simple.
Much love to you, Sandy.
Don't freak out. And I'm telling you, get back in touch with your kids. This is an opportunity.
Tactical Tech, you always make people laugh, man. It's good to see you. John, thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you, because, I'm not going to lie to the people. We talk to each other pretty much daily, a time or two a day, and we call each other when we find new information. And but usually by the time we get to you, it's old information. We've got newer information. So I guarantee you, Friday, whatever we read and research tomorrow, come Friday, it'll be old news, and we'll be bringing you the very latest. So
we may have names by Friday, folks.
You never know how this is going to go. It is going to go, and it's going to go with us or without us. It's going down. It started, and we can only hope that when the lights come back on, if they go off, that everybody's still here, and everybody's still safe. So
dark to light.
So if we're not here come Friday night, God bless. God love you. I do. And me and John will see you at the first opportunity. If Friday night is not good for us as a whole. If not, we'll all be here, and we'll say everything tonight that you wanted us to finish that we didn't get to. So join us again Friday night, 8 o'clock. I will actually put out an announcement at the exact time. I may go a little earlier and stay a little later. So I'll announce that come Friday. All right. I love you. We'll get out of here. God bless. Brother. And I will see you probably here in just a minute, John. The rest of you, have a good night.
Stay strong. Stay strong. We're going to win.
Stay strong. It'll all work out.
Yep.
Trust Sessions. Just remember that. Just keep the faith.
Dark to light.
Work out. Dark to light. Well, our eyes will be open soon enough. All right. Love y'all. I'm out of here. God bless, and I'll see y'all Friday night.
We'll see y'all.